Come on. Good day, my friends. Come on, sweetie. Come on up. Come on. There we go. We had a circle and squawk going on here. She's finally decided to come up. So, long time no see. So, Kirk is a whittler, like Jed Clampett. Wow. I didn't know anybody still did that. You're definitely a dying breed there, Kirk, if you actually do whittling. That's Jed Clampett is the only person, and he's just a character, but the only person I ever heard of that actually did whittling. So that's very cool. I used to do it because I saw him do it. When I was young, I thought, okay, that looks cool. So I used to whittle just because I saw Jed Clampett do it. But I bet you're much better at it. I bet you're much, much better at it than I was. So good day to you all. Nice to see you all. We're just like a thing of the past. Yep. I haven't heard it since Beverly Hillbillies. It's going to be a lot of people asking, what's whittling? You take a stick and a knife and you shape the stick with the knife. It's sort of like carving, I guess, but I mean, you could take any size stick and whittle it into whatever, right? Make tool handles, the knocker. Yep, there you go. Tire knockers. I don't know what tire knockers are. What exactly are tire knockers? You got me on that one. Hello, daughter of Zion. And is my throat ever sore from the singing? Oh, too whittle to wait. Okay, that's funny. That's actually funny. Too whittle to wait. Sounds like Bugs Bunny. Little girl. Little girl. It's my faithful assistant. Brenda Pretty. Hello, Brenda Pretty. Let's see. Brina. Maybe it's Brina Pretty. Nice to see you. I think I saw you today in the live stream, so nice to see you back. But if it's low or not. Oh, gotcha. Hand brushed clean my carpet. Very cool. I have some advice for you, though, Shofar Girl. There's nothing more unhealthy than carpet. Okay? Get rid of your carpet. The only sort of carpet I have is a mat underneath my drums because you need something so they don't slide around. Other than that, we eliminated every bit of carpet in this house. And I got healthy instantly as soon as we did that. Oh, they're not good at all. All you got to do is walk on them a couple times and have your cats get on them, whatever, and they're not good. They hold everything. They hold every bit of grossness possible. Carpet is terrible, absolutely terrible. That's interesting. Yeah, that's what's here is, well, we have laminate floors. My dogs slide around. I bet you that's funny, actually, to watch them do that. No, if it's not if you're renting, you can't do it. But even somebody that rents, I don't know why they would want carpet in a place that they're renting out. Get rid of the carpet, put laminate floors in, and you're done. You don't have to worry about it. Every time someone moves out when there's carpet, you've got, at the very least, you got to shampoo them, and at the most, you got to replace them, right? So carpet sucks. Carpet really sucks. I have laminate floors in the bedroom too. We put laminate floors everywhere in here. She won't go to her bed. She wants some loving. Scored concrete floors. Interesting. That would be hard on your back though. Floor has to have some give to it. Otherwise, it's very hard on your back. Walking on concrete is really rough after a few years. That'll hurt your spine because there's no bounce to it. That's why in by code, at least here in Canada, the code says you can't have just concrete because people's backs will get bad after a while. So you have to have some sort of flooring over the concrete with a little give to it. Maybe it's not the same where you live, I don't know, but here in Canada, that's code. It's actually law. So welcome back, everybody. Nice to see you all. Very nice to see you all. Hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic and feeling groovy. Gave her love and no, she's asleep beside my recliner. Yep, and your back, it'll wreck you after a while. Concrete is terrible. You got to have something over it with some give. It only takes 2 to 3 years. People who live in basement apartments and don't put anything on the floor, they wreck themselves pretty quick. Come on, sweetie. Come on up. Come on. Come on, little girl. See the ram do. Glad to see you back. I think you're the one. Are you the one who sends me email money transfers? I think you are. And they just go into my bank account, so I never get to thank the person. Are you one of the people who does that? I think you are. Your name sounds familiar to me for some reason. And it seems to me that you have sent me email money transfers, but I never got to thank you for them. Unless I'm confusing you with somebody else. And I'm glad to hear you like the music there, Grace. Thank you. We got an abrupt halt here to the chat. What's going on? So weird when it just stops like that. Why did it just suddenly stop? Thank the King of Kings. No, well, yes, of course. But also, I'd like to thank you. I never get to thank you because if somebody sends it PayPal or whatever, I get to type back a message to them. Or if they send money here, then I get to thank them in real time. But if somebody sends me an email money transfer, I don't get to thank them at all because there's no way to send a message back to them. So if you're the one who's been doing that, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't even remember how many. I just remember that name. So I just want you to know I very much appreciate that. So it's cool that I actually got to thank you. I was wondering if I ever would. That's where I got the word groovy from, Grace. That's why I started saying groovy. It's because of that song. Slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the moment last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling. And then there's a real high note. Groovy. I can't hit that note. Yes, love that song. That's where I got the name or the word groovy. That's why I started saying it, was because of that song. Simon and Garfunkel. Groovy tunes, yes indeed. And with them. See, I don't know how to advise you with PayPal because I don't know what the problem is you're having. But most people don't have any problem with PayPal, right? I've sent money on PayPal and never had no issue. So I'm not sure what the issue is you're having, but whatever it is, it's not what I'm familiar with. So sorry that they're being a pain in your butt. They were a pain in my butt before because if people didn't use the friends and family option, then PayPal would think I was selling goods and services and would want me to prove that I had delivered the product before they would let me have the money. And I had to keep calling them over and over and over. It's like, I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling anything. I'm in Canada, so there is no Venmo. Yes, Ray, definitely. I'm sure everybody has people in their family who's hated them their whole life. Definitely. I think every family has some of that. It's hard talking to an actual person on your PayPal account. You mean when you call them? Yes, it definitely is. Absolutely is. Yeah, I don't know what the problem would be, Kirk. Not sure. Don't know. Don't know. I wish Canada had other options, but we don't. We have email money transfers, but you have to be in Canada to use that. So it's no good for Americans, right? PayPal is really the only thing there is for Americans. The Old Testament says about eating shellfish, and the New Testament makes everything clean, Shadow Band. And it doesn't really say really much about jewelry. It does mention jewelry, but it doesn't say you can't wear it. No worries there, Throne Guarded. Thank you, Jake. It is brand new. I've owned it for a few hours. It's all automated. I'm old school. I want to talk to a real person. I'm the same way, but you don't necessarily get to do that. I mean, you can if you go through the what do you call them? No, I'm not going to Scarborough Fair, but Simon and Garfunkel are. If you go through the automatic voice messaging thing and you do the right things, it will eventually ask you a question. And if you don't answer it properly, it will say, you're going to have to speak to a representative. And that's how you get a representative. Okay. If you keep doing what they're prompting you to do, they're just going to keep the AI entertaining you. But if you confuse the AI, then they'll go for a person. Always remember that. If you're trying to get a real person, confuse the AI. Then it'll go to a person. Yep. There's a time to be alone and a time not to be alone. I'll agree with that. There's the double snowman. Evil people. Life spelled backwards is evil. Yep. Ray, it's quite possible that your family, maybe half your family or even all your family are evil. I mean, that could be. That could be. TV, the Matrix is so frustrating. Mary Goodroad. They're not actually fedoras, Mary. They are actually trilbies. They are actually called trilbies. Fedoras have a wider brim. So they're not actually fedoras. Enemies would be those of our own household. It's totally true for a lot of people. Totally true for a lot of people. I was on hold for 30 minutes. I got a foreigner I couldn't understand. That can happen. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. And yes, who was it just said that? Double Snowman. You found a good place here where people want to talk about real stuff. Okay, we don't. Could happen until we became born again. We don't want to talk about sports. We're not into bread and circuses. We're into real things. So when you come here, guaranteed you're going to find somebody that wants to talk about something real. I promise. If you have parents that love you, please hug them and call them and tell them, thank you for loving me. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. So that's one of the things that I've started to try to remember when I'm dealing with difficult people is that demons are controlling them. Like you guys saw when I was downtown with the pizzas the last time trying to give them to those guys. And a guy attacked me. Okay, I could get upset with him, but what I got to realize is that was demonic. What happened was completely demonic, right? I wasn't dealing with that guy. I was dealing with that guy full of demons. So you got to remember that. The enemy is trying to keep me from my calling. Oh, guaranteed enemy is, right? There's no question. There's no question. His will, yes. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, you guys saw that. I mean, I could get upset or I can realize That's a man that needs deliverance. He's got demons in him, right? He's got a bunch of demons in him. So if I had a fedora to put right beside it, I could show you what the difference is. There's actually quite a difference. A fedora's brim would stick out about here and not shaped the same in the front. They're a little bit different. You have to see them beside each other. Then you can see the big difference. Yep, me too. Me too. Just look them up online, Grace. If you pull up a picture of a fedora and then a trilby and put them side by side, you'll see the difference. There is quite a difference. I don't actually look good in a fedora at all. Fedoras don't match me. Has to be a trilby for me. Ericsson's screaming, "Come on, Pennywise!" Oh yeah, yep. Want to get ahead? Get a hat. Nice. I have realized that dressing nice is true. What a difference in the way people treat you when you're dressed nice. I'm telling you, folks, if you find you're invisible and you want to be more visible, dress accordingly and people will notice you. I'm telling you, it'll change the whole trajectory of your life. It literally will. I used to hear this from people years ago. Dress for success, they'd say. Clothes make the man. They'd say all these things. It's totally true. Can't believe the difference since I started dressing like this. Just wild. Totally wild. Some people want to be invisible, right? Some people want to be. That's totally fine. Well, Maria, in my case, I want people to listen to what I have to say. Okay. I want people to take me seriously. Okay. I want people to take me seriously. So what's wrong with that? If you're no, Indiana Jones hat's another one altogether. It's not about attention, it's about having people take you more seriously. Okay? If you're on here trying to get a message out to people and you can get people's attention better, then that's what I'm trying to do. So plus it's like I always said, if you're representing the Lord, try and look classy, right? Look as classy as you can. Don't look unkept and scruffy, right? But I mean, just dress especially if you're trying to get a good job or something, right? Show up dressed to the nines. No matter what you're doing like that, like dress as nice as you can when you go to something important, right? If you're going to a job interview or whatever, present yourself as well as you possibly can. You're going to increase the chances that you're going to get the job. Definitely. Well, of course, the Lord is classy. No, it doesn't. But if you look at any of the, yes, it does, Lisa. If you look at any of the channels that the Christian channels that do well and have a good message, the people on there are dressed nice and they look well kept. They're not scruffy, right? They're trying to be as classy looking as they can. Yes, it probably was Ty Phillips. But you got to realize that there wasn't really any fashion back then. Everybody just wore the same thing. Everybody was wearing the same thing. People weren't, unless you were nobility, everybody wore the same thing, right? They wore, what do you call them? Tunics. That's what everybody wore. Yeah, get your hair cut nice and get some nice clothes. I'm not saying you gotta, wear. You don't have to dress like I dress. Even just make sure you look respectable. Is what I'm saying, right? If you're, especially if you're gonna go around and start evangelizing to people, well, then you should definitely make sure you look respectable. I think. You're talking 2,000 years ago, Bradley. If you walk around trying to evangelize and you're all scruffy looking, do you think people are going to listen to you? I don't think so. I don't think no one's going to listen to you if you look all scruffy. So if you think that's going to help get your message across, try it and see how it goes. It won't go well. Okay? Why would you want to look scruffy when you're evangelizing to people? Why would you want to do that? That doesn't make sense. And you're comparing 2,000 years ago to now, when everybody wore the same exact thing, and there was no such thing as like wearing different clothes. Everyone wore the same thing. We're not 2,000 years ago anymore. It doesn't have to make sense. Okay, well, yes, it does. If you're trying to make a point, it should make some sort of sense. Otherwise, it's nonsensical and you're not making a good point. So I don't know why you think that there's anything wrong with evangelizing and making yourself look respectable. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? That just, I don't get it. I don't know, Mary. So now you're telling me I'm dressed like a pimp. Is that what that's what you're saying? Oh my. I'll consider that enough of an insult that I will ban you from the channel. There's no need of that. That is the end of you. Calling me a pimp. I mean, that's just, people can't help themselves. And trying to, you're trying to spew Bible stuff and all this, and then you say something like that. Is that very Christ-like? Like, is that Christ-like to start insulting people? Did Jesus teach you to insult people? Probably not. It's probably not what Jesus was all about. So, I mean, if you think I'm dressed like a pimp and I'm inappropriate, then move along. Off you go. I will wear whatever I want, and I don't really care what anybody says. So, I do not care. Thank you, Diana. To where I won't disagree with that statement, Tel. I still don't think it. Have you ever seen a pastor in a church wearing sweats and a sweatshirt and a hoodie? No. How do the pastors dress? They wear a suit and a tie. Okay. If I go to a church and I look up at the pastor, it's a very good chance he's in a suit and tie. Why would that be? Because he's a representative of the Lord. Why should he not dress nice? Well, actually, I don't even know what the scripture says, double snowman, but yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. 1 Corinthians 9, 20-23. 1 Corinthians 9. 20-23. What a bunch of judgmental people show up here sometimes. It's really interesting how judgmental some people are. Over silly stuff, too. Over the clothes I have on my back. As if they have some right to judge me for the clothes I wear. It's wild. To the Jews, I became like a Jew to win the Jews. To those under the law, I became like one under the law, though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those under the law. To those not having the law, I became like one not having the law, though I am not free from God's law, but under Christ's law, so as to win those not having the law. To the weak, I became weak to win the weak. I have become all things to all people, so that by all possible means I might save some. I do all this for the sake of the gospel, that I may share in its blessings. It's basically the point. There's Papa Bravo. Well, yes, that's more like it, Church, Kirk. That is more like it. I mean, you go to a church, you look up at the pastor, okay, and he is in a suit and tie. If he's not, it's surprising. I haven't seen too many pastors that aren't in a suit and tie. That's how the pastor dresses. Why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he? He's the pastor of the church. People have to look up to him, and not look up to him, but, they got to have some sort of respect for his authority and stuff. He's the pastor of the church. So he's got to represent himself well. So he wears a suit and tie. Almost all pastors do. I haven't seen any of them in a hoodie and sweatpants. I've never seen that. It's the judgment of these people. I think these people judging me for these clothes need to read the Bible again. You're not allowed to judge people for the clothes they wear. It's none of your business what somebody wears, right? It's none of your business. Take your judgment and go elsewhere. There's no need of it here. Yes, if somebody wants to look like a dirtbag, they can, but I'm not going to do it. I'm a YouTuber. I deal with the public every day. Okay, so my appearance is somewhat important. It's unbelievable the judgment they think they have the right to. Romans 14:13. Therefore, let us stop passing judgment on one another. Instead, make up your mind not to put any stumbling block or obstacle in the way of a brother or sister. That's a good scripture for right now, isn't it? Thank you. That's very appropriate. Tal Phillips, you can go join your buddy there that I forget what he was even called, but you can go join him. Okay, take your judgment and go elsewhere. Not listening to it. If you don't like my clothes, why are you here? If you got a problem with the clothes, why would you be here looking at me? If the clothes annoy you, go to another screen where you don't have to look at them. And now I've guaranteed you will, because you can no longer make comments here. So now you'll have to go somewhere else. You look rusty, okay, but Kakaider, you're not up here doing what I'm doing. So, right, you're not doing this. So if I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't care either. It's different when you're not doing this sort of thing. Thank you, Double Snowman. Oh, I don't worry about them. It's just, it's so silly. It's absolutely silly. Very, very silly. France had another terror attack. I'm sorry to hear that. They've had their share of problems. Boy, they really have. Excuse me. They have had their share of trouble. Yes, they will indeed, Norma Jean. They will indeed. They're not like you living your life like a candle in the wind, right? Yeah, well, this was an experiment. Okay, I went in the store and the older woman that was in there, she was really cool actually. She ran up the stairs. She was looking for a white sport coat for me, which is what I wanted to buy, but she couldn't find that. So she came down with these and just, here, what about this? And I looked at this and like, okay, yeah, I can see myself in that. She was real nice. She was nice. And while she was up there, then I spotted the white hat, which is what I was looking for too. I was looking for a white hat. Hard to find. I couldn't find one anywhere. So I just happened to walk into that store and they had the white hat. And I did buy a white sport coat today too. It's ordered and it's coming on Monday. So I got everything I was looking for. Might be a bit long to read here, but I highly recommend you stand and say this prayer loudly in your home or wherever you are. Thank you, Diane. I got called a pimp, but I like the hat too. But apparently I look like a pimp now. Dressed like a pimp. So, I mean, I've heard FBI, I've heard mafia, I've heard so many different things. But tonight I was called a pimp. So I think it's kind of funny, actually. Yes, if I got a cane, that would probably do it. That would probably do it. I'm an undercover pimp. I guess that's what I am. I mean, and the fella earlier telling me that I had to stop wearing fedoras. And then the live stream went down just as I was about to tell him it's not even a fedora. At least get your hats right. It's not a fedora. At least call it what it is. So, Psalm 97 is what Papa Bravo recommended for us here. How long is that? Oh, that's not so long. We'll read Psalm 97. Okay, here we go. The Lord reigns. Let the earth be glad. Let the distant shores rejoice. Clouds and thick darkness surround him. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. Fire goes before him and consumes his foes on every side. His lightning lights up the world. The earth sees and trembles. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord. Before the Lord of all the earth, the heavens proclaim his righteousness, and all people see his glory. All who worship images are put to shame. Those who boast in idols, worship him, all you gods. Zion hears and rejoices, and the villages of Judah are glad. Because of your judgments, Lord. For you, Lord, are the most high all over the earth. Over all the earth. You are exalted far above all gods. Let those who love the Lord hate evil, for he guards the lives of his faithful ones and delivers them from the hand of the wicked. Light shines on the righteous and joy on the upright in heart. Rejoice in the Lord, you who are righteous, and praise his holy name. Very nice. Thank you for that suggestion, Papa Bravo. That'll put lead in your pencil. Very nice, my friend. Thank you. Papa Bravo is the man of wisdom, I call him. That's what I call him. So now look, it is the time, obviously, because now that we're at my regular time to go live, we have 80 people here. So I guess that is what it is people just aren't used to that time. Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo is, I'm trying to think. He's a cartoon guy. Isn't he that muscly dude with blonde hair? I'm trying to picture Johnny Bravo. So I said earlier. Yeah, you did. Yep. I think I know who Johnny Bravo is. Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah. The muscly blonde haired dude. I remember him. Papa Bravo is the man of wisdom. Loves his mama. You know, all the women, Johnny Bravo. Well, that's not Papa Bravo. He definitely doesn't do that. Proper to remove hat, reading God's great. Oh, absolutely. I try to never forget to take the hat off. I always remove it when I'm reading a psalm or something. I'll read a quick Bible verse sometimes without taking it off, but if I'm doing a whole prayer like that, I always remove it for that. I look like Johnny Bravo if he gained 30 pounds of fat. Yeah, that's about the same with me. There is a couple extra pounds on me. Just a few, not a whole lot, but a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm actually about 200 pounds. I'm not little. 99%. Phone is almost charged. Yes, that's right. I feel healthy, definitely. I think I am for the most part. I think I'm healthy. Seem to be. Yeah, well, as the weather gets better, I'll walk more and more. 225 and 6 foot. Well, that's probably about the same proportions as me. I'm 5'9" and 200, so right on, Grace, no problem. I walked to work, weighed myself. I was 230. After lunch, I weighed myself 236. What did you eat? Have a cow? Like, you ate 6 pounds of food. Man. There you go, Diane. I was such a cute baby. Then it all went downhill after that, and I turned into a pimp. Now I look like a pimp. A lot of water too. Obviously, if you weigh 6 pounds more, was it the same scale? Like, did you weigh yourself on the same scale? Like, that's a lot to gain after lunch. I mean, that's a lot of weight to gain just after eating lunch. Oh wow, who is this? Alana Hillier. Thank you so much. I'm not quite sure. I think I know who you are. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The generosity of the viewers is absolutely amazing. And you'd think where I look like a pimp that nobody would want to donate anything, but you'd think they'd look and say, no, he's a pimp. I'm not giving him any money. But it's only that guy, I guess, that thinks I look like a pimp. So thank you so much, Alana, for your generosity. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. Remember your dog Puppy? Yes, I do. And I remember this will really blow you away. The day that my parents took her to put her down because she was in bad shape. Me and you went skating over on the lake, and you broke down crying over Puppy because she was being put down. And I remember I was consoling you, and I should have been the one crying, but it was you crying. I bet you don't remember that. No, Grace, that is fine. You can say that without offending or bothering me. It's all good. Thank you. We keep trekking with Jesus. Yes, we do. I ate eggs, cheese, and meat or nuts. There you go. Get a hot pepper and meaty pizza and hot wings tomorrow. See, I used to love Chinese food back when I ate chicken. But you got to, if you don't eat meat, Chinese food is kind of boring because all you can eat is the vegetables, right? Even the egg rolls, you can't eat the egg rolls anymore because they got meat in them. So becoming a vegetarian or a pescatarian, I should say, ruins Chinese food. You know what else it ruins? Barbecuing. Barbecuing goes right out the door. There's no sense barbecuing anymore. Why are you going to bother? Right? You can have lo mein. Yeah. My interest is low in Maine. My interest in Maine is very low. Yeah, I know. I remember that. I remember that. Barbecue vegetables. Yeah, it's not really the most exciting. I mean, I could barbecue fish, but barbecuing fish doesn't really do any good because you got to wrap it in tin foil, and then you put it on the grill, and it's the same as cooking it in the oven. It's no different. So barbecuing when you're a pescatarian is pointless. There is no point. None at all. Again, what's the good of a barbecued pizza? What's the point? The only way that barbecuing makes sense is if you're grilling some meat and splashing the barbecue sauce to it. Right? Okay, some sort of skewers that you don't have to wrap up in tinfoil, maybe. But if you throw a fillet on the grill, that sucker's going to fall apart and fall through the grill. You're going to lose your fish. You're going to lose your fish. If you smoke it, I suppose, but it's not easy to do, right? Because if you just throw a fish fillet on the grill, it's going to fall through. It does. You got to have a special kind of grill underneath it. Well, I called her Dolores, actually. You need the foil for fish, yes. I've tried just putting fish on the grill and it falls through. It's impossible to flip it over. When you flip it over, you're losing it all right down through the grill. Yeah, candy is. I'm the same way with it. It's hard to resist, but I've been doing pretty good. I like things like cherry tarts and lemon tarts and things like that. That's my weakness. Or cherry pie. Of course, I remember the gas station. Diane, I remember back to being 3 years old. I remember everything back to being 3. So I remember everything. I remember things that would blow your mind. Mike and Ike's. I don't know what Mike and Ike's are. Don't like gummy worms. Never did. Not into Snickers bars either. Wow. You got nothing there that appeals to me at all. Not a bit. I'm more like cherry blossoms or let's see. I don't know, something with almonds or something, chocolate and almonds. That would be my thing. Not a big fan of gummy stuff. Yeah, that I really dislike that actually. Yeah, Snickers are okay. They're not my favorite one. They're all right. Cherry blossoms now. There's a good chocolate bar. It's around. It's not a bar. They're about actually. I don't know. They're about that big. They're a lump of chocolate with a maraschino cherry in the center of them. They're very, very good. Portuguese tarts. Never heard of those, but they sound awful good. Yes, salmon is the only fish that is common here. You can find haddock too, but haddock is expensive and most people don't even sell it. I noticed a lot of the restaurants that have fish and chips now are selling cod. So I don't mind cod, it's okay. But no, well, yes, my cats eat cat food, right? Like cans of cat food and also bags of kibble. But they eat twice a day, they eat canned food and they like, Sammy boy likes pate. Little girl likes meatier stuff like turkey and chicken and stuff. Yeah, no, I've had to stay away from that stuff too, Nicholas. I don't eat hardly any of that stuff. I still have this. It's been sitting here since December 25th. I still have it. Well, sea salt chocolate. One of my favorite bars, and I haven't touched it. Your kitty won't touch pate. That's what Sammy Boy wants all the time. That's the only thing he will touch. I would, but my cats won't eat people food. My cats are weird. They won't even eat tuna. I can open a can of tuna and offer it to them. They won't touch it. They literally won't touch it. No, Michelle, it's not going to turn white. Not going to turn white. It'll be gone before that. She wants the meaty bites. Yep. Nice. I have apple tree, which hasn't produced very much, and the squirrels just steal them anyway. I have a plum tree that has 3 different types of plums on it, which has just started to produce, but again, the squirrels stole them all. I have a dwarf cherry tree, which has not produced anything yet at all. Is that all I got? Oh, and I have strawberries, a little bit of strawberries. Yes, my kitties are beautiful. The squirrels get me bad every year. They steal everything. Steal everything. Yep. Well, I bought all these at plant stores. Like I paid $100 for my apple tree. I paid even more for my plum tree. My plum tree has 3 different types of plums. So and it even looks different. Like branches coming out of one side have a certain type of leaf. Then there's branches coming out the back. It's totally different leaves. And branches coming out the right. That's totally different. And the plums are all different sizes that it grows. And it's literally three plum trees in one. So I paid a lot of money for that too. Darth is Schoonus. Not sure what that means, but yeah, that's anything but a godly channel. Okay, I got a feeling Darth is Kunis is something satanic, but I'm not sure. Your crap apple. You have a crap apple tree? I bet you those aren't very good. I bet you they don't taste very good at all. Crap apples. Her crap apple tree died. Little girl. Little girl. Got a cat one year from a yard sale. You bought a cat at a yard sale? I mean, I've heard of some weird things being bought at yard sales, but never anybody buying a cat. Oh, yeah, you got to do that, Mandy. Get some coins. Use nickels if you ain't got any pennies around. Get some nickels. You only need like 3 or 4. You could even use quarters, use whatever. You only need 3 or 4 of them, just enough to rattle around, make the noise. It will work, I promise. It will definitely work. Right on. When did you? That must be a long time ago. You haven't talked about a cat in a long time. I didn't even know you used to have a cat. Had no idea. Yeah, it must have been. That's like little girl. Little girl would eat straight time. You're probably. I know Sammy Boy would. Sammy Boy is anyway. Sammy Boy, when he wants me to go in to play with him or pay attention to him, he will come up in front of me, look right at me, get this big breath in him, and go, "Rear," and scream as long and loud as he possibly can. Okay. He will literally, I call it the air raid siren impersonation. You got to see him do it. It's unbelievable. I mean, even little girl runs away. It's unreal what he does. He's rear as loud as he can, and he holds it. He's like frozen. Okay. And he just sustains it as it sustains longer than a Les Paul. It's unbelievable. And if I don't go right away the first time, he'll do it again. He'll take another breath and go, he screams the second time. He knows eventually, I can't take it. I'm going to go give him what he wants. Oh, yeah, petting them. Will, Shelley, that's exactly right. Absolutely. No, Sammy boy's the boy, little girl is a girl. I have a male and a female. Sammy boy and little girl. That's their names. They are siblings, and that's a mistake. So anybody who's thinking about getting two cats, don't get a brother and sister from the same litter. Don't do that. Well, her name is Sabrina, but I've never used her name. I've called her little girl since she's been around. That's technically what her name really is. Well, I should say technically her name is Sabrina. But I don't think I've hardly ever used that name. Oh, yeah, she's big. She's real big. She always was. Like, even there was four of them in the same litter. She was the biggest by far of all four. She was the biggest. So, and then she decided she was going to eat everything in sight, and she got bigger and bigger. Now she's huge. Now she is huge. Ran out of time. That's what you always say, Kakaider. What? How is it you run out of time? What does that mean? What? Why is there a time limit and you have to go? Maybe you're working. I don't know. I always meant to ask you that. What does that mean when you run out of time? Orange cat called Pumpkin. Well, that's really original. That's really original. It's like when people get orange cats and they call them Garfield. Gee, how did you come up with that? How did you ever come up with that one? She's got an orange face, is all she's got, but I think you're right. Orange cats can be like that. And English tabbies, which is what Sammy Boy is, are very, what's the word? I don't know what the word is for it. They're very independent. They do their own thing. Well, they're turkeys, is what they are. He's a turkey. That's what I call him. An absolute turkey. He likes to be difficult. She's got tortitude. Yeah, mine has catitude. Big time catitude. Miss Purdy. Like that. Love sleeping in boots. So, excuse me, folks. I need another coffee. I will be back in a moment. Yes, Michelle, I think. Oh, yeah, your cat is beautiful. It's one of those ones like my parents had one like that I gave them actually, like a lion's mane around its neck. I know the exact kind of cat that is. I was juicing. Punky poo. I think everybody knows I am very fond of cats. Yes, very, very fond of cats. So, it is Friday night. Let's do some polls. Let's see if we can get some opinions on things here. We've just been kind of hanging out and talking about whatever, but we'll put a little bit of structure to our stream here. I think my phone is now charged. I can put that away. So let's see. And no, we won't do polls about cats. We'll do something else. Okay, let's see. Let's see. There we go. I know there's going to be some people that say yes to this. But we only got 13 votes here so far. No, I don't like the sometimes box. I like yes or no's. No sometimes. You either want isolation or you don't want isolation. I agree, Jake. I don't think humans are meant to stay in it forever. And the Lord doesn't leave us in it forever. But some people want to stay in it forever. I've met people who never want to come out of it. They want to live their life that way. Not with me. I've been in it 10 years, so I'm good with it ending. I'm okay with that. Come on, little girl. Come on. What up with daddy? Only 23 votes. It's not even half. Come on, folks. There's a whole bunch of you. Can I vote? I don't think I can. No, it doesn't let me vote. Yeah, it doesn't let me vote at all. Right on, Lisa. Take it easy. Only 23 of you are going to answer, I guess. Not even half. Got low participation in that poll. Come on, sweetie. Come on up. Come on. There we go. You lay down with Daddy. Lay down with Daddy. Yeah, that's all we're getting is 23 votes, I guess. 40 people will not. Oh, 24 votes. Come on, folks, give us some more votes. Yes or no? Wow, Grant, are you there? I don't know if Grant Stevenson is in the chat or not. Yeah, thank you, my friend. Just received what you sent there. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you can only give one, but as long as you give one, that's good. One vote is good, but over half the people here didn't vote at all. Yes, really, thank you so much, Grant. Very generous, brother. Thank you, thank you. 30 votes. Okay, we got half. We got half the people have voted. So 23%. That's a quarter. So that's about 7, 8 people. 7 or 8 people out of the 30 say, yes, I want to stay in isolation. Wow. That's a little higher than I thought it would be. Okay. We'll consider that one done. Let's see. Yeah, I'm with you, Grant. I'm totally with you on that. This one I think could go either way. Agree, Grace. Agree. $25 people have voted. 20, not even half. Keep going, folks. Keep voting. See if we can get at least like 35 people to vote on this. 10 more. We got 60 people here. Only 25 have voted. 27. I don't know. I mean, it's so easy to just cast your vote. It's not difficult, but I don't know why people won't. So 21%, almost 30 people. So we got some witch-infested families, obviously. Obviously. Need some more people to vote. I guess that's all we're going to get, 29 people. Nobody else going to vote? Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. It is, but a lot of people are aware of the witches in their family because the more amateur witches don't hide it. They're proud of what they do. So they want everyone to know. It's only the really higher level ones who actually hide it. Okay. They didn't know why. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Yeah, it's only the higher level witchy ones that hide who they are and what they do. If a witch lets you know that she's a witchy one, she's not a real witchy one. She's a wannabe. For her to be the real thing, she needs to be hiding it. Or he. I shouldn't say just he or she. It could be he. Right? Because warlocks are still witchy ones. Same deal. And there's no such thing that I've ever seen as a family without a witchy one in it. There's going to be at least a couple of witchy ones in every family. Okay, there's going to be at least a couple. It says it's white witchcraft. Yeah, there's no such thing. Well, you can, Jake. There's ways you can tell. The really talented ones will hide it, but the not so experienced and talented ones, they give themselves away. Right? They give themselves away. Christian Scheisty, thank you very much. Thank you very much. The last one was the statement was, my family is full of witches. And only 21% said, yes, that was true. Can I give examples of what, Camille? What would you like examples of? But don't know. In the summer, I'd sit on my patio with the Bible, and she'll go inside when I come out. Oh, double snowman. That's all bad. Sorry to hear that. Furry ones are doing great. Christian Scheisty. How to know someone's a witch? Well, when they're constantly giving you gifts, that's a big one. You have to keep an eye on the way they look at you. A real witchy one is going to try to give you the evil eye and stuff. really super long fingernails. Like if the fingernails stick out like that far, those fake fingernails, and they do clickety click, that's an indication. They tend to wear black a lot. I mean, if you know somebody who always wears black, that's probably a witchy one. Let's see. Somebody who's constantly trying to seduce certain people. They're always on the seduction trail. Okay. Yes, the questions. Okay, so they'll want to know very specific things about you, dates. They'll ask about dates a lot because they're trying to do a spell and they need information about you, right? But here's what I want to remind everybody. If you're following Jesus and you're being obedient and you don't have a bunch of doors open, okay, the witchy ones can't do anything to you. They can't do anything to you. So you're better off, rather than focus on what the witchy ones are doing, you're better off focusing on being obedient to God, and then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, that's what I would recommend. If you got a bunch of doors open, then the witchy ones are going to get at you. So focus on closing the doors. Okay, being obedient. Staying repented up. Oh yeah, plants are a big thing that they'll try to give you. Maybe, Kirk. Maybe. Because of the LOL, Jake. And to be honest, mods, the LOL, I mean, I'm torn on that one. It causes a lot of issue to go at people with the LOL. They don't understand. It's hard to explain. I don't know if we should even bother with the LOL. Everybody and their dog types it. It's annoying. I don't know why everybody is latched onto it. I've never typed LOL once in my entire life. Literally never once have I ever typed it. But everyone does. Everyone does. So it's losing, it's fighting a losing battle. It's literally fighting a losing battle. Okay, somebody that's into tarot cards and crystals, Camille, is definitely a witchy one. That is definitely a witchy one. There's no speculating there. That is a witchy one for sure. Okay, tarot cards means they're a witch. They're into divination. That means they are a witch. 100%. You can take that to the bank. So yeah, let the LOL go. Don't even bother with it anymore. It's you're all fighting a losing battle with that one. Okay, we'll stick with the emojis. I like that. They should be, but maybe some of them, I suppose, aren't. I mean, if they're reading tarot cards, I think they should know they're being witchy, right? But it depends on what what your definition of witchy one is. Okay, if your definition of witchy one is anybody who messes with anything New Age or is even interested in it, then okay. You got a lot of them that don't realize they're witches. But if you're calling a witchy one someone who's actually casting spells and doing divination and all that stuff, yeah, they're doing it for fun. But if they're actually casting spells, they know they're being witchy, right? You can't cast a spell and not realize you're being witchy. You know that means you're witchy, right? Share my preserves and crochet as gifts. Well, no, it's not as long as you're not doing spells over them before you give them away. Don't curse the items and then give them to people, then that's witchy. Okay, but a lot of people are probably not going to trust your preserves or your crochet, and probably don't want them because anybody who knows about what I'm talking about would be nervous taking anything like preserves or a crocheted item from somebody, right? Yeah, so if they're just entertaining themselves, Grant, they're not really, they're still upsetting the Lord, but they're not really being witchy. To be witchy, you got to be at least reading your horoscope, okay? You got to be following astrology or, chanting stuff or drawing sigils or something. No, anything, Shelley. I mean, because those are two things you could curse. You could completely curse a crocheted item or some preserves. Why couldn't you curse those things? Of course you could. Yes, to take food from somebody, you got to really trust them. Okay, they can jams and baby blankets. Okay, if somebody came here with jams and baby blankets, they're not giving. I'm not taking them. There's no way, not a chance. Someone at work had the Buddha statue in her office. Okay, so that's a Buddhist. That's not necessarily witchy. That's Buddhist. It's a false religion, but Buddhism is not a religion of sorcery, really. Some people do it in Buddhism, but it's very rare. Buddhism is not a religion of sorcery. Hinduism is. Hinduism has a lot of sorcery in it. Buddhism does not. Now, some of the things they do go completely against, Christianity and stuff, but because someone has a Buddha statue, I would not call them a witch. I would say they're a Buddhist, or they're possibly New Age. They might still be a witch, but it's not the Buddha statue that makes them a witch. That makes them either New Age or Buddhist. Frequent nightmares is because you have doors open and there's demonic activity making that happen. Okay, you know what? I forgot about them astral projecting. Yeah, and remote viewing. Remote viewing is actually part of that too. So there is a degree of sorcery in Buddhism. You are right. You are right. There is that part of it, but Hinduism is way worse for sorcery than Buddhism is. But there is that aspect. Yes, they do astral project, and they do remote view. That's where the remote viewing came from. Is actually from Buddhism. And sleep paralysis is because of open doors. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Jedism. Because you whittle. Yep. Jed Clampett. But see, I still use his what he said about the hockey when he told Mr. Drysdale that he watched hockey for the first time. Yeah, checked out some of that hockey there. Oh yeah, Jed. What did you think of that? Well, I felt real bad for him. He said, I sent him some money. You sent him money? Why'd you do that? Well, they're all chasing around that same puck. I sent them some money so they could each buy their own. They're fighting over the same puck. He didn't think they should do that. Why can't they all just get their own? So yeah, I like Jed's logic. So I've used that talking about bread and circuses. Why are these grown men fighting over the same ball? They all make lots of money. Can't they buy their own? Why are they fighting over the same one? And a spirit passed. Now, Job is the exception, Heather. Job was tested because I'm pretty sure it says he was the Lord's most faithful servant. Okay, most faithful servant. So I don't think that Job had an open door. The devil went to the Lord and asked specifically if Job could be tested. And the Lord agreed to it. Okay, so that's what the story says. Job is not a regular case. He was the Lord's most faithful servant. So the devil decided, he said, no, if I test him, he's going to turn on you. He's not going to stay faithful. Right? So it didn't really matter if Job had open doors or not. The Lord agreed to let the devil do some nasty stuff to him, okay, to test him and see what he could handle. And the Lord was confident that Job was going to pass this test. And so he did. So luckily, the Lord doesn't do that to everybody. Okay? We don't want that to happen to everybody. It happened to Job. Job passed the test. So that'd be a pretty hard test to pass. What he put Job through. It's amazing that Job passed that. So everybody always brings up Job, though. They always do. I've had that brought up every time I talk about open doors. Somebody brings up Job. Well, what about Job? Well, he's the one special case. He is different. He is indeed different. And I'm glad he is, because let's all be glad that's not the norm for that to happen. Because that means everybody be getting a dose of it. And if we read Psalm 91, explains how the enemy attacks in dreams, especially believers. But if we read Psalm 91, Heather, what does Psalm 91 say? Psalm 91 says, if you seek refuge with the Lord and he's protecting you, no disaster will come near your tent. You'll watch others fall around you, but nothing will happen to you. So I go by that, right? I'm not, what I think isn't because of anything but Psalm 91 and other things too. But for sure, Psalm 91 says that if you stay faithful and you seek your protection under the Lord's wings, that you'll be fine. That's what it says. So it's been true for me. It's been totally true for me. If I stay obedient, as long as I'm obedient, I haven't had any problems. It's only when I get disobedient in some way that something happens to me. That's when the dreams will start, or a demon attack, or whatever. But if I stay completely obedient, nothing happens. No bad dreams, no demons, nothing. Everything just goes smoothly. When I step out of line, bang, it doesn't take any time at all. Something will happen. It is. I fully believe that if you stay obedient, you're going to be in way better shape than if you don't. As soon as you step out of line, and the thing is, people step out of line and don't realize they've stepped out of line, right? Because this thing that pastors teach, so things happen to believers. I'm not saying it doesn't happen to believers. Believers who have gotten disobedient somehow, Heather, is what I'm saying. A believer who gets disobedient somehow. Okay, it's not about. I'm not saying if you're a believer, nothing will happen. I'm saying you got to remain obedient. And people don't even realize that just having a bad thought is enough to have the Lord do something to you. Okay, all it takes is to get your heart posture a little bit off. Or, yes, if we return to what we repent from, or you get some anger in your heart against somebody, or you get some guilt and shame against yourself, whatever the reason might be. Okay, it's not a matter of, I'm not saying as long as you're a believer, nothing will happen to you. Okay. All right, I'll read your scripture. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Yes, I agree. You need the Lord to fight for you. But if we read Psalm 91, which is my favorite psalm of all, it's very clear that if you're seeking refuge under his wings, no disaster will come near your tent. Nothing will happen to you. You'll watch all the other disobedient ones fall at your side, but nothing will happen to you. The Lord will reach down with his righteous right hand and hold you up. It says he'll charge the angels, give charge to the angels to protect you. And you're in good shape. Okay? You're in good shape when you're being obedient. As soon as you step out of line, that's when things get bad. That's when things get bad. Exactly, Alana. It's the same with me. It's the same with me. If I get out of line at all, bang, it doesn't take any time, and I get smoked with something. Okay, it's always he takes a warning shot. They never stop the attacks, and you were right. He keeps me safe. Yeah, exactly. And when he's not, what I'm saying to people is, if he's not keeping you totally safe and he's letting something get through, that is to let you know that you've got a little hole somewhere, right? You've got a little hole somewhere. And it's not hard to get that. I mean, to be totally obedient is difficult. You have to keep mindful of all this stuff. You have to be careful of your thoughts. You have to be careful of your heart posture, what's in your heart for bitterness, right? It doesn't take much, and the Lord will let me know I've veered off somewhere, right? Even especially doing these live streams, I can say the wrong thing in a live stream, and all of a sudden he's not happy, and I have to sit and think, what have I done? What did I do? Oh, maybe it's the way I dealt with that person, or whatever it is I've done, right? So it doesn't take much to get out of alignment, as I say. And once you get out of alignment, then you might not be completely protected from different things. If you're totally obedient, you should be good, for the most part, unless you're getting a test like Job did, right? That could happen. I'm not saying it couldn't. Obviously, the story of Job is there for a reason, right? Help you, but he need to talk to you first. I will talk to him soon, Michelle. I will talk to him soon. That's all I can say. Give it completely to the Lord. I think most of us do that, Camille. I think most of us do that. I would have to agree that I do that same thing too sometimes. Yeah, I know you're very obedient, Heather. You know your scripture, and right on you're right on the money with pretty much everything. So I know you're being very obedient, and I know you're enjoying protection. The attacks will come. Okay, that it doesn't say that the armor of God is going to keep us totally invincible, but it says that it allows us to stand our ground and withstand the arrows that are coming at us. Okay, it's as long as we stay obedient and we don't, if we don't put on the belt of truth and the breastplate of righteousness and everything, okay, as long as we do that correctly, the attacks will still come, but they won't take us down. Okay, they won't take us down. They attack, but the enemy cannot. Yeah, exactly. That's correct. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But as soon as we step out of line, then we're playing with fire. And then the attacks, when they come, they might get through. They might actually do something to us. Okay, so we got to be careful of that. And it's all about obedience. It's all about obedience, being as obedient as possible and staying repented up. Okay, so that's why I tell people to repent every day. I'm going to call you Skillet because that's what it looks like. Skillet, we're going against Scripture if we have close relationships with non-believers. Yes. So I would say, anytime you're ignoring God's word and doing the opposite of what it says, then yeah, that's opening yourself up for something, right? For some sort of chastening from God. There you go. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. Beautiful. Exactly. Exactly. And Psalm 91 gives us even further confirmation of that. Psalm 91 is my favorite, for sure. So, yeah, Skillet, I would say when you say indulging, it really it really depends on what you mean by indulging. And it's just because of that emoji that you got your comment deleted there. Indulging in the things that the non-believers do, like going to bars, and what are you doing things that are not permitted for followers of Jesus to do because you're hanging out with the non-believers? Because then for sure you're opening yourself up for chastening. Okay, if you're just spending time with non-believers but not engaging in anything that's bad, you might not get chastened then. It depends on what you're doing with them. Okay, when you say indulging, that leads me to believe you mean drinking or doing something you shouldn't do, right? Well, the Bible tells us, I will read the scripture to you. Give me 1 second. Second Corinthians, 6:14. Second Corinthians 6:14 says, "Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness?" So that's pretty clear. Okay. You can spend time with that person trying to bring them to God, but you are not supposed to have a close relationship to somebody who's totally a non-believer and is engaged in whatever, right? They're not following the Lord. They're not really the kind of person that you can have a close relationship with. Okay, they're not going to be doing the right stuff. And that's another one. Bad company corrupts good character, yes. Okay, but you can spend time trying to bring them to God, okay? But that's where it has to stop. You're not supposed to you're not supposed to have close friendships or romantic relationships or anything like that. Yes, and most of them, they can't. As soon as you mention Jesus, they don't want to hear it, right? They don't want to hear that. So I'll read it again. I mean, it's very clear. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? So this scripture makes it very clear that the Lord thinks unbelievers are wicked. Okay, just being an atheist makes you wicked. Okay, it's not. Some people might look at atheists like, okay, they just haven't come to God. God thinks they're wicked because they have shunned their Creator. Okay, they have completely turned their back on their Creator. They don't even acknowledge Him. So we're talking, yes, heathens, atheists, they're wicked according to that. Okay, yep, that's my one buddy. To the second I mention anything about God, he says he has to go. In God's eyes, he's wicked. Okay, that's wickedness. He is denying his Creator. So I would say that's how we have to look at atheists, as something to not hang out with. Okay. 5 closest people. So you just got to be careful. The best influence are closest rather than the less righteous friends, if that makes sense. Yes, if they're denying their very Creator, the one who made them, they're denying his existence. They may even have a whole bunch of indication that God is real, and they're trying to suppress it, because a lot of people will suppress the idea because they look at how Christians live and they say, wow, I don't think I could do that. I better stay an atheist so I can live this way. Right? They know that believing in God comes with all kinds of sacrifice. So guess what they don't want to do? They don't want to sacrifice. They want to keep living like that. So it is wickedness. It is, and that's what the Bible calls it. So I must leave this place. Yep. Well, no, that's, your son is your son no matter what he does. Your son is your son. What are you going to do about that? But the verse is saying don't be unevenly yoked with people. So do not be yoked together with unbelievers. So basically, do not have a friendship, do not have a romantic relationship. If you can avoid it, don't even have a boss. Okay. If your boss isn't, if you can find out that someone is an atheist, then even working for them is probably not the best idea. Right? Checking other areas here in the West. So I think, other than trying to bring them to the truth, the Bible's basically telling us to stay away from them. Okay, we can try to help them and try to bring them to God, but other than that, we're not supposed to have anything to do with them, really. You shouldn't be hanging. If you're a follower of Jesus, your friends have to be the same thing. Your close friends got to be the same. My favorite channel there, Grow in Faith, Grow in Christ, said something really that made real sense. Okay. He said, did you know that if your 3 closest friends are overweight, the chances of you being overweight is extremely high? Did you know that if your 3 closest friends are alcoholics, the chances of you being an alcoholic is very high? And he said a bunch of other things too. And he said, these are all proven things. Whatever your 3 closest friends are into, it is highly likely you are going to do the same things. So bad company does corrupt good character. We know this. We know this. So, well, yes, Shelley, we're not supposed to hate them. But we are not supposed to establish close friendships with them. Schnazzy. Thank you, Jibs. Thank you very much. So we can try to help them and try to help them see the truth, but they should not be our close amigos, as as Jibs just used the word. No, that's right. No problem, Andy. Sleep well, my dear. He is around. I don't want to be mean about them. Just, yep. 1 Corinthians 6, 14 to 17. 1 Corinthians 6, 14 to 17. 14 to 17. By his power, God raised the Lord from the dead, and he will raise us also. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ himself? Shall I then take the members of Christ and unite them with a prostitute? Never. Do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute is one with her in body? For it is said, the 2 will become one flesh. But whoever is united with the Lord is one with him in spirit. Right on. So no going to the brothel. Okay, no going to the brothel. Unrighteous who believes in whatever she wants to believe. I thought she was my friend. Because you're going to do what they do. It's true. It's true. I mean, how many times have I been with a group of people And whatever was going on, like, yeah, right, I'm up for anything. Let's do it, and go along with them. Yes, yes. I would say that's pretty much everybody is going to fall into that. So your best bet: look for other believers and establish close relationships with them only. Yep, and you know what? People might think that's silly, but okay. I was kind of impressed sometimes with the things that this guy Kurt Metzger, he's on Jimmy Dore's show. He's a comedian. Okay, now he's got a foul mouth sometimes, so that always bothered me. But he made sense about a lot of things he said, and he's pretty smart for the most part. So I thought, okay, this guy is kind of smart. I used to think this. Redacted just had him on the show and interviewed him. Natalie, the wife of the couple, had Kurt Metzger on and interviewed him. What did he do? I seen him come on the screen. I'm like, you're going to use foul language on a classy news show like Redacted, aren't you? You're going to use bad. And sure enough, you could see her cringing with every F bomb that he let fly out of him. I'm like, oh, you don't even have the class to control your language long enough to do an interview on the classiest news show there is. I was so disgusted by him. I just now he's just turned off by the sight of him after that. I couldn't believe what he did. I mean, you could see her just cringing every time. Man, how pathetic. I mean, I thought at first that Redacted is too classy to have him on in the first place. But what does he do? Go on and use bad language. Like, I couldn't believe how bad his language was. And he was just arrogant and inconsiderate. It's like, dude, I'll never watch you again. I'll never watch you again. Bad company corrupts good character. Totally. So I wouldn't even watch the interview. I couldn't. I like Redacted a lot. Clayton and Natalie Morris are great, but I'm not going to watch somebody on their show doing that. So, Kirk, I'm totally with you. Bad habits are contagious. They totally are. Bluebirds don't hang out with chickens. No. If you can't even use decent language when you know there's people around who don't care for bad language, I mean, that's the height of inconsideration, right? It's just, there's no reason you can't watch your language around people who don't like it. There's no reason at all. So that is one thing that will totally turn me off. I'm with Kirk on that. He says people around, he doesn't allow people around him who use bad language. You shouldn't, because you're taking that in your ears, right? You're taking that in your ears and it is having an effect on you. Totally. I'm sure they don't know if he's going to eat them, but it's probably not something he tells them. Yes, exactly. They're completely ignoring your wishes that way. They don't have any consideration for that. They don't care. Right? Yes, you have to respect the people around you for sure. If you're just disrespecting everybody, that's making a statement right there. Redacted. It's called Redacted. It's a news show with a married couple, Clayton and Natalie Morris. Right on, Mustard. See you later. So, yes, keep good company, folks. We're supposed to hang out with nothing but other believers. Very important. Very important. Or you can just do what I do and don't have any friends at all. You can always do that too. That works. You can always do that. Happy birds. Hang out with chickens. They don't curse very much. I don't think they curse at all, actually. I don't think. I've known some chickens. I never heard an F bomb come out of them once. I think you're pretty well guaranteed an F bomb free evening when you're hanging out with chickens. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Nope, me neither. Brandon, Bible thumping Brandon. I guess you could call me kind of a Bible thumper too. No, Bible thumping. I never really quite understood what that really means. I don't really thump the Bible. Um, we do try to tell people about Jesus and the gospel and stuff, but if they don't want to listen, I don't thump them with a Bible. It sounds like we're hitting them. I'll hit you with my Bible. Yep, but they are. Well, as long as they're not hitting people with their Bibles. We shouldn't do that. I'm sure some people have done that. That's where my new Bible would really be kind of nasty because it's big and heavy. Seriously big and heavy. I have no friends at all, Jake. I have one that I see once a year, maybe. That's it. I had lots of friends, but they're all gone. They're all gone. Well, yes, no company is better than bad company. There's nobody anymore. And my family, the only two family members I still have, don't live around here, so don't have them either. So it is a very solitary life. Extremely solitary. Nobody around. Period. It's me and my viewers. They don't remember you're here. Who? Who's they? There's nobody to remember anything. There is nobody. There's no friends. There's just no friends. I don't have any. I've been isolated for quite a long time. Joe Webby, nice to see you, buddy. Yes, little girl. Oh, yes, I talked. They're 2,000 miles away. They're 2,000 miles away. I have a son and an aunt. My aunt is in the chat all the time. My aunt Diane. She's in the chat all the time. And my son's in rehab in Nova Scotia. So whom hath chosen for his own inheritance. Yes, indeed. Little girl. Little girl. So, other than them, the rest of the family has disowned me, which is totally fine, because that gives me peace, actually. Because the rest of the family is I don't want to say anything negative, but they like drama and fighting and stuff, and I don't. So they tend to, well, now that there's many of them left anyway, almost everybody's dead. So my mother's dead. My grandparents are all dead. Most of my uncles are dead. Yeah, there's a few cousins around somewhere. I'm pretty sure most of my family's all dead. So that's bound to happen, right? People die. It is difficult, but if you don't have any close contact with worldly people, it'll be easier not to despise them. It's harder not to despise them when you're around them all the time. Okay, so friends or family left. Yep, there you go. If you spend too much time around really worldly people, you will end up getting bitterness in your heart towards them because they'll get on your nerves, right? You have to try not to. That's another reason not to be around them too much. Not just because they'll corrupt you, but well, that's another form of corrupting you. They're going to annoy you, and you're going to end up with bitterness in your heart, and that's the last thing you want. Absolutely draining. I believe you. I agree with you 100%. So I can relate to all that you're saying. Well, Jesus was on a mission, right? He was on a mission. Yes, Valerie, I agree. It seems to have been hitting almost everybody at the same time. I actually kind of have a theory that um, the same sort of experiences happen to a whole bunch of us at the same time because it's the Lord putting us through them sometimes. So the Mormons are stalking me. Uh-oh. Well, I have to go and feed the furry ones now, guys. So I thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. The furry ones are hungry. Surprised Sammy Boy hasn't been down here squawking and screaming at me yet. But I must go and check on Mr. Jacob too and feed all the furry ones. So, I'm ex-Mormon. Oh, you know a bit about it then, yeah? Pablo. You're not the Pablo that owns the understore, I don't think. Quite sure you're not that Pablo. But nice to see you anyway, Pablo. I know another guy named Pablo. Went to see him today, but he wasn't there. So, night, beautiful family, and our beloved King Jesus Christ. Blessed Sabbath rest. Thank you, Heather. I hope you sleep well. Right on, Joe. Thank you for saying that, brother. Deeper the worship again, as I have been asking. So praise God. Yes, indeed. Awesome sentiment there, Valerie. Thank you. Huh. Well, there might be more to what you're doing there, that random guy. There's probably more issues that you're just not realizing. But I would need to have a full conversation with you to get to the bottom of that. It sounds like you've simplified things, possibly a little too much. Right on, Heather. It's been my pleasure. But if you come back to another live stream, we can talk about that more. Perhaps I can help you. We'll hopefully see you again. So, thank you all for being here, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Remember that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.